trying to get something else, and I can't remember what I was going to get. $36, $42. Oh. There we go. There we go. Let me get this moved over here. There we go. Hey there, Remington. I finally made it over here. I've been cleaning heads, and we got my son and daughter in town, so I spent a little bit of time with them too. Good to have them in town. Thank you there. Good to have the kids in town. Hey there. Hey there, Duncan. Yeah, so I've spent all morning cleaning heads, gluing eyes, a lot of the boring work, a lot of the boring stuff, and spent some time talking to customers too. I got to talk to Backporch Jigs for the very first time. I don't think I've ever talked to him on the phone. He may start coming over here and watching and maybe putting some videos up over here. He's out of Florida. I didn't even know that. Hey there, Ernie. Welcome in, buddy. One, two, three, 5, 7, 8. I can get 9 on here. Welcome in, everybody. I got to do 42 of these. Get me a drink here real fast. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm painting or powder coating heads. I got a little bit of coffee left over. These are 1/32 ounce. These will be going to Florida. Hey there, panfish. This is called a fluid bed, and I don't know if you can see it jiggle in there, but it basically lightens up the powder, shoots up air through the bottom. Gets it where the powder paint becomes more fluid. Fluid-like. Welcome in, everybody. Oh, we had a bunch of people leave, didn't we? Hey there, Ron. Welcome in, everybody. Man, that was a hard one to do. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm going to switch this around. Let's see. Okay. Let's do this. Skip this over here. Oh, man. Okay, that was just getting too hard to do. I was having to put my arm around the camera and do all that. Yeah, a little bit too tough to do. Welcome in, everybody. I love this stuff, LOL. Yeah. I like showing different views and stuff, but I still haven't perfected the POV. The point of view camera, you know, angle. Well, I gotta paint a bunch of these dudes. They ordered 12 packs of each color and in each size. There's 6 to a pack, so that's what, 72 of each color. I already have some of these painted because I've been working on these between live streams. These will be going, hopefully next week, they'll be going to Gerard's down in Florida. These are 1/32 ounce. I got a bunch of jig heads over here I got to do. Let's see, do I have 9, 2, 4, 6, 8? Got to get one more on this row. So I'm down to the last 2 colors of jigs I got to tie. I thought, let me get some of these knocked out. So if I don't, I'll end up spending a whole day or 2 just working on these, and I don't want to be spending 2 days doing live streams, painting heads and gluing eyes. Appreciate everybody in here, guys. Make sure to tap up the likes. I got to do one more row, a full row, and then I got to do a couple more because I got to get 42 of these dudes. I just got through eating an early lunch too, so I should be on this stream for quite a while. Timothy, thank you so much. Yep, that's 5 months there. Happy Friday there, buddy. Thank you there, Tim. Let me grab my other glasses so I can see a little bit better. My bifocals don't do well when I'm painting heads. I appreciate that. Yep, happy Friday to everybody. We do have my son and my daughter-in-law in town. They've been doing some classes on once a week here in Tulsa. But they're going to stay till tomorrow. I'm going to take my wife and the kids out for my wife's birthday. We're going to take them out to eat at a Mexican restaurant tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. Wow, we got, what, 30 people in here. We do have memberships, guys. We have all kinds of memberships. A lot of times if you have a membership and you put in an order, a lot of times I'll throw extra stuff in there for you guys when you're placing orders in. And then sometimes we do drawings for the members only. And then we do drawings also too for the gifters. When they throw out $5 incremented gifts, every $5 will be a spot on the for a prize. And we do those periodically. Some weeks we get a lot of gifts. Some weeks we don't get a whole lot of gifts. So we just kind of let them escalate a little bit as far as, you know, receiving gifts and stuff, and then we'll do a drawing. And for the people in the gifting drawings, you don't have to be present. 2, 4, 6, 8, one more. Makes 9. That makes 36, so I got to do 6 more of these after this row. That is shrink tubing on there, and that helps, it keeps the eyelets cool, because not cool, but clean, because I do have to put these in here a little bit differently to paint the heads. It's hard to pick out the, you know, pick off the shrink tubing. I imagine if you're really good at picking boogers, you're pretty good at picking off the shrink tubing on here. See, if you're really good at picking boogers, which I'm not, see, I didn't even get all that. Sometimes you got to dig in there and get that booger out clean. Sometimes you got to go in for a second dig. Hey there, Matthew. How's it going there, buddy? What color do we got to do next? We got to do orange. Is it orange? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my. I got to figure out what I got to do. The next color on here. I don't have my colors on the wall correctly. Working like you. Did you go to work today, Remington? I didn't know if you called in sick again. I know you were sick yesterday. These will be going into the oven here in just a little bit. Yep, we got 36 people in here. I had to put my hand up there because I couldn't see if that was 36 or 86 people in here. Or I didn't know if it was 6, 7. Well, a bunch of these knuckleheads putting 6, 7 out there. Home still. Oh no, that's awful there. I didn't know that. I had a friend that had gout a long time ago, and he couldn't eat any pork. And he loved him some bacon. His name was William. Okay, let's see how many of these oranges I got to do. We need some orange. Where's the orange? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we need 10 packs of the orange, so we need 60 oranges. That's the last of the coffee there, man. I think my wife went overboard with the coffee grinds this morning because I'm tasting a lot of coffee grinds today. Uh-oh. Got powder coat that went everywhere. I gotta shut that down a little bit. Okay, so we need 60 of these, so that's quite a bit. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 containers of heads I got to paint. I don't think I'm going to paint them all on this segment here. But I'm going to try to get a bunch done. So 60 divided by 9. What is 60 divided by 9? What's that? 6 rows, 6.5 rows. Six times 9 is 56. Carry the 3 over. Add 2 more decimals, and we'll be all set. Where's Mr. Clint at? I wonder if Clint's at the doctor's office. I wonder if he's hunting. He could be hunting today. Clint's been out there doing it up with the hunting lately. These are 1/32 ounce. I'm hoping I can get all the 32nds done today. That's a lot of heads I got to paint. Hey there, Fat Cat. How's it going, Fat Cat? You know, we got us a fat cat over here. Her name is Lolo. And her boyfriend down the street is even fatter. He looks like Dorfield. He looks like the pregnant one. Kind of like me and my wife. I'll look like I'm the pregnant one. Hey, Victoria, how you doing there? Who's talking trash? I'm talking trash. I'm talking trash about myself. I'm talking trash about myself. Does that make me trashy? How you doing there, home chicken? You know, our chickens quit laying. We haven't found any eggs. My wife thinks it's because of the time change, or, you know, she thinks it's because of the time change. We had to do something last night that we haven't done in years. We had to go buy some eggs. Yeah, weather and sun exposure, yeah. I mean, I knew the weather did when it gets super cold, but, you know, for us to have, what, 60, 80 chickens, I mean, I understand the roosters not having eggs, but for us to have all those chickens and not have a single egg to show for it, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to them that much. What does the molt have something to do with it? I remember a long time ago as a young teenager, I had some Schlitz malt liquor. Schlitz malt liquor. That was some nasty stuff there. Oh, it does have everything to do with it? Huh. I need to ask my wife. Maybe she knows about it. She is the chicken queen on this farm. She is the chicken queen here. It takes up a lot of energy and nutrients, and therefore eggs production either slows or stops completely. Oh, I had no clue about that. Maybe I'll bring that up to my wife. Like, Stephanie, could it be the molt? And I'll see how she looks at me. She'll probably think I Googled it or something. I'll say, no, I Victoria'd it. That's what I did. I Victoria'd it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 1/32 ounce on a number 4 mustad. We got another email from one of our tackle stores down in Florida, and they said our lures are really good looking. I grew up with chickens and they molt every fall. Oh yeah. Now we've had our chickens for a while, and I know they molt. If you guys don't know what molting means, it means they lose their feathers and regain them. The hens, a lot of times, will lose their feathers because the roosters grab hold of them. And they're basically violent to them when they're in their love-making pattern. And they lose a lot of feathers that way, too. Playing hopscotch, yeah. Old feathers is an important process of replacing the old and large. Yep. Well, that'd be crazy if humans did that. They start shedding their skin. Ooh, that'd be kind of freaky. Freaky, freaky, freaky. You know it is Freaky Friday. Yeah, some of those poor hens, man, they're all torn up on the back. Well, maybe this will be good for them, I guess. We need to get rid of some roosters again sometime. I think we got too many roosters running around. I need to harvest me some feathers again. That's the roosters, yep, you got that right. One rooster for 10 hens is the average, yeah. Kind of that way with Mormons too, isn't it? Oh man, my mind is just everywhere today. Two, four, okay. Yeah. The sisterhood of the chickens, of the hens. Do a reality show on the hens. My wife Stephanie used to love watching, what is that, Sister Wives or whatever? She used to like watching that all the time. Now I think the guy's down to one wife left. I think that's all he has left is one wife. That's all I need. Yep, that's all you need. I can barely handle one wife as it is. I can't see how these dudes they go off cheating on their wife and stuff, and I could barely take care of one wife. I mean, I am twice the husband I used to be. I've gained a lot of weight. Lots of heads. We got a lot of jig heads here working now. These are all orange with a bait keeper. My son's been studying my son's he has a master's and he's getting his doctorate for ministry or in theology or whatever it is. I don't know which one he's getting. He'll be the first doctor in our family. My wife has an opportunity to do, but she didn't want to go that far. I just have a degree in biblical studies and also in theology. I never really pursued anything further than that. I figured Jesus didn't have a bachelor's degree. He didn't have a master's degree. Why should I get all that stuff? But no, I never went after a master's or anything like that. I was happy to get my degree and be gone. I still study all the time, though. Yeah, that's all he needs. Yep. He loves what he does. He's a BCM director, which you guys don't know what that means. It's a Baptist Collegiate Minister. I think they only have 2 more sessions that they meet before the end of the semester, and I don't know when they restart up again. Man, I could not get to sleep. I remember it being 1:30. I'm there just rolling around bed. I don't know what kept me up all night. My wife actually got up early. She got up around 4:30. I'm like, why is she getting up? And I looked at my clock and it's like 4:30. She's up and around, getting makeup on, washing her hair, getting ready. Yeah, I ended up getting out of bed about 5:45 or so. I figure I'll sleep in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I did cook her breakfast though, so I'm gonna try to cook her breakfast tomorrow, or I may run out and go get her something which she likes. Oh, we got to do a little more on there. Let's see if I can get it. I try to not have her cook hardly on the weekends. She's off work. I know she works hard. She does take care of me. She does a lot of the cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. 6, 8, 9. So a lot of times on the weekends I make it to where she doesn't have to cook hardly. Yeah, the master doesn't need a master's degree. You got that right. Nah. Yeah, when I first started going to church, as a Christian, not as a, I went to church as a kid a little bit, as a Catholic, and then, I think some of you guys heard me yesterday. I went to a Mormon church, Jehovah's Witness church, because we when you live right across the street from a Mormon church, you know, and you're a kid and your mom doesn't know any different, that's where you go to church at, you know. And the same way with the Jehovah's Witness Church, we lived across the street from a Kingdom Hall and went there for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, something like that. But it wasn't until you know, I went to a youth group up in Tyler, Texas, because I was going to go to college up there. And I gave my life to the Lord, but I didn't really give him all my life, I don't think. And it wasn't until I moved to Florida that I just totally surrendered. And I'm like, this is it, you know. If I keep doing what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up in jail or in a ditch. And so I gave my life completely to him. I got out of the business I was in. And but I didn't play dress up or anything in the church. I hate wearing a suit. I mean, I'll wear a suit for somebody's funeral or their wedding or whatever, but other than that, I just do not care to wear a suit. Yeah. Oh man, I got something in my eye. Hang on. Either that or I got a muscle twitch. That's kind of weird. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Let's see. Yeah, I just don't. I just, you know, and I know that people they come from whatever background they come from, and we would have people when I was a pastor at one church, we would have people come in that were homeless, people that would come in just for the food on Wednesday nights. And so I tried to make things as comfortable as I could make it. I didn't want to feel like anybody needs to revere me or anything by any means, or I didn't want to intimidate anybody. We would do a meal on Wednesday nights, and we would get a lot of people. They just come for the food and then they'd leave. They wouldn't even stay for the service. Just come for the food and leave. To some tomorrow. Any tips? I mean, you just gotta, there's some places you could go online to get some tips. That way you could maybe print them out. But there's a lot of scripture, when you get into Galatians, and Galatians tells you to, even if an angel came down and shared you a different gospel, that's a ministry thing there. They'll talk about, Jesus wasn't hung on a tree, and, and it's like, yeah, you know what? There's semantics and terminology. I believe he was hung on a cross. But when you got, knucklehead Joseph Smith, getting this revelation from an angel that came to him at bedside, and, and then you get into the inscription of the plates, and they've never been able to prove that. Anything geologically, there's no proof that they have. And that's some of the stuff with the Bible and all that. There's all kinds of geographical proof, of Israel, of all these nations, Babylon, all these, places that are modern day Turkey, modern day Iraq. And then you got the Mormons that there's no history. They'll call it a hidden history, but they have nothing to stand on. And then you get into where Mormon text has been changed, about 2,000 to 3,000 times. They've had to change their text, and it's not like a translation changing. It's not like a revised, like from the Bible. You got your King James, that's a translation. And then you got your translations off the translation. But when you're having to make corrections on literature, that's just a big, a no-no there. And there's just been so much junk out there with the Mormons. They're basically following a blind faith, and there's nothing to substantiate what they're, to prove any points to their theology. They just lose all over the place, whether it's literal geology, geographical, just theology-wise, everything's just, there's just nothing there. I feel bad for them. I don't have my Mormon notes here on me. I do have some notes that I go to. But they get really surprised when somebody knows a little bit about the Bible. They think they're going out to the Gentiles. They're going out to the infidels. And they think that they don't know anything, which to a large extent, most of the people out there in the U.S. don't know anything about the Bible, but they don't expect any rebuttals or questions back at them or anything. I don't know what that means there, engraved. Let's see. Yeah, they keep changing their text, yep. Oh, yeah? Yeah, it's just, there's just a bunch of stuff. I had a roommate years ago in Florida that got caught up in the LifeSpring, and that there is a cult there, or was a cult. There's still remnants of it. But he had asked me, and he wanted to change his life because he was addicted to drugs. He was an alcoholic. He's a guy like in his early 40s, just kind of messed up. And I would share Christ with him because I came to Christ before he did. He ended up coming to Christ before he passed away. I got to speak to his sister a few years back, and his name was Chris Hinckley. Nice guy. we were roommates at one point, and he was into LifeSpring. And I remember going to one of their rallies or one of their meetings, and they played that song "We Are Family" by Sister Sledge, and they're walking around with a crystal on their forehead, and they asked if I wanted to participate, and I was like, no, I was in there kind of just stunned and amazed. They had the lights turned down, they had the disco bulb globe going on, and they were rocking out to "We Are Family" and all kinds of Casey and the Sunshine Band music, Temptations, and they were all about feeling good and cleansing your soul, and basically they were into emptying out your mind. That's what they were into. That was my first encounter with the New Age belief, and they were big into saving the planet. You know, at that time it was called global warming, and they were so big into that, and let's save the planet. They were big into Mother Earth. They would sell all kinds of nutrients and all kinds of like these health shakes to lose weight, and also to de-age you, or to slow down the process of aging. They were just really far out there. And then I took them to my church. At that time I was going to Calvary Chapel in Fort Lauderdale, and I said, I'll go to one of your meetings if you go to church with me. And so he came to church with me, and he just, like, I just don't see the point. You know, you guys sing a few songs, you study out of this Bible thing. What's the point? And anyway, he ended up coming to Christ a couple years later, and he ended up going to that same church. And I was so glad that he came to Christ. Again, I didn't lead him to Christ or anything, but, you know, it could have been my witness to him, or it could have been somebody else witnessing to him. Hey there, Jeffrey. Hey there, Sandra. Hey there, Elf. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I got more than... I got enough here for this one color. So when I lived out in Florida or California, we would go out street witnessing, and we would encounter some of these New Agers out there. And a lot of them were involved in all kinds of stuff. They were involved in all kinds of sexual whatever. Now, I'm not going to get into that. That's another story there. But they were all about good vibes. That's like the theme of a lot of these different groups that don't want anything to do with Christ. They're into good vibes. They're into having a good time. They're into peace and love, and they're into all this, you know, stuff. They don't want anything to do with God. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, golly, I'm missing a bunch in here. Good one. Oh, in Chicago. Oh, cool. Yeah, I went to one in Fort Lauderdale. Now that pastor kind of, I don't want to say walked away from Christ. He had some, how would I say, sexual addiction, put it that way. He had some other encounters besides his marriage, but I mean, there was a time when he was a really good speaker and a good pastor, And I got to see that church grow from like 200 to basically 20,000 or so. And he was a guy that witnessed to me before I came to Christ. And he didn't even witness to me personally. He was witnessing to the table next to me. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And so anyway, now I think he has his life a little more back together, but I mean, I don't know what he's doing today. Really nice guy. I'm not going to mention him by name. I still can, you know, he was my pastor. I left Calvary Chapel in Fort Lauderdale, and I went to go serve. Well, I went to Bible college up in California at Calvary Chapel Bible College, and then I ended up going on staff, and I became the children's minister up there for the college. And I got to serve up there. I was part of Calvary Chapel Costa Mesa staff, and then I was ordained by Chuck Smith up there. And I didn't have a big ceremony or anything like that. But anyway, I love Chuck Smith. I miss him. He passed away, went on to be with the Lord a few years back. Okay, let's get that. We got our pinks. We got our oranges. Let's get our black and whites going here. I used to like, I lived in Chicago for a little bit, not long, but I don't want to say lived there. I was there for a while, put it that way. And they had a bakery that had a black and white cookie. I used to like that black and white cookie. Okay, we need our white dropper. Let's see. Sunday school teacher in Chicago, now leads Fort Lauderdale Children's events at Calvary. Oh, cool. Yep. Yeah, I was there at Fort Lauderdale, and I was there when they had about 200 people, and they had one service, and they had a small singles group that would meet. I don't even think there was a singles group, an official group there. And as that grew, they ended up bringing on a person to be their singles pastor, and his name was Chris. And it kept growing and growing. And anyway, I loved it there. I got to sit through the whole Bible as far as they're through the Bible series, and ended up going to Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa, and went to the college. And we used to go down and see Greg Laurie on Monday nights in Riverside all the time. But I missed that. I moved here to Oklahoma to serve at a Calvary Chapel. And when I moved up here, they had a church split. So I had to go find me a regular job. Oh yeah, it's pretty dusty. I clean it out every so often. Yep. Yeah, I mean it's dusty in here at times. Uh-oh. Okay, we're gonna do, well, now, man. Let me get this figured up right, fixed up right. Okay, there's gonna be a black and white head here. Okay, there we go. Black and white head. So we need 72 of these. 72. Yeah, that's a first, yeah. No, I've never heard anybody complain about the fan. Oh well, maybe I'll have to go out and get a new fan. Let's see. Welcome in, everybody. I'm the guy that a lot of people watch, but they don't like. We only got like 19 likes in here. Meantime, you got old Toadhead over there with the toilet seat on his head. And people are throwing all kinds of love at him. Yep, welcome in, everybody. Yep, we'll catch you later, Al. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in, though. I was talking to somebody on the phone yesterday. They were like, I just don't see how you can get like, all these people on your live stream, and then he goes, I'll look up and there's like 5 likes and you got 300 people in the chat. I'm like, I have no clue at all. It just works out that way, but oh well. Maybe one day I'll have my day in the sunshine. So I need 72 of these bad boys. Hey there, Sandra. Two, 4, 6, 7. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Mad Shad head, black and white. These will be going down to Gerard's down in Florida sometime next week. We do have 6 stores out now in Florida. You can also find our lures here in Oklahoma at Tackle Bandit in Collinsville. Also Shields All Sports in Tulsa. Also Nabatak Outdoors in Claremore. What I'm doing is powder coating. I'm dipping them in the black paint, which is a powder coat, and then I'm dipping them, not dipping them, but I'm sprinkling white paint on top of that. Six, 7. So basically I'm heating up the head and then dipping it in the powder coat and then sprinkling the white on top of that. Just like that. Welcome in, everybody. We got 53 people in here. Appreciate everybody in here, guys. These are going to be for plastic baits, people that fish with plastic baits. They have what's called a bait keeper on here that holds your plastic on there. We're going to be doing some later on with a pill head with eyes, and then some with spinner blades on them. Again, that's what that looks like right there. 2, 4, 6, 7. Hey there, Sandra. Well, I'm going to take a break here just a little bit. I got to go put some ice in my drink here. I just need to get up and stretch around and walk around a little bit. I don't know if you guys want to see me walk around the shop. Welcome in. Hey there, Barbara. How's it going there, Barbara? Man, you've been in here, what, 3-4 days in a row? Fist bump. Man, what is wrong with this here? It's all clogged up. Well, let me unclog it here real fast. Ooh, now this all hardened up. Okay, do I have my scissors here? Oh yeah, we're back in business now. All right, I just got back from shopping groceries. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm going to take a break here. Again, I do appreciate you guys coming in. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. We'll see you guys here in just a little bit. I'm going to go in and refill my ice and go say hi to my kids here. I got my son and daughter-in-law in town, so we'll see you guys here in a little bit. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.